We all know the angels get their share, but sometimes the devil gets his cut too. Hey whiskey lovers, and welcome to another episode of Whiskey Straight with me, Big Al. Today I'm back in the bourbon. I haven't done a bourbon for a while, and I just recently picked up this Jim Beam Devil's Cut, which I've had a love-hate relationship with for a couple of years. So stick around to see what my thoughts on it are. Now, it's a low-end bottom shelf pour. The good thing about it is it's regularly on offer. You can get it for 18, 16 quid, which is bloody brilliant. Normally recommended retail price over here is about 23, 24 quid, but as I say, it's regularly on offer. If you pick it up on offer, it's really worth checking out. It's 45% alcohol by volume. So why then is this called the Devil's Cut? Well, here's what Jim Beam says. While bourbon ages and the angel's share evaporates, some also remain trapped inside the barrel, and this is the Devil's Cut. We extract the stark and intense liquid from our charred white oak barrel walls and blend it with extra aged bourbon. Jim Beam's Devil's Cut is a distinctly bold bourbon full of rich and intense flavours. So let's put that to the test and see what I think of it. As I've already said, I've had a bit of a love-hate relationship with this. When I initially had it a few years ago, I wasn't overly fussed on it, to tell the God's honest truth. So let's get right into it, see how it is, and we'll start off with the nosing. Sláinte. Right from the off, it's very vanilla driven. It's very smooth on the nostrils. Loads of vanilla there, bit of caramel, and given that it's coming from the char in the barrel, gives not too much really of a deep dark oakiness or anything like that. It's more like an oiliness. There is a darkness there, but it's more oily. It's more, gives the impression that it's very liquid driven, like a liquid char rather than a really intense chewy char, if you get my drift. What I'm getting here now is roasted walnuts as well. That oak influence is coming through a wee bit more. It's very rich in nature, and what's different about this than the majority of bourbons you'll get, and that's probably because it's coming from the walls of those oak casks, is there is a smokiness there, but it's not the smokiness you'll get from like a Scottish or a Scotch whiskey from something like Islay, or even some of the Highlands that are lightly peated. It's a very sweet smokiness. It's like it's been, the smoke element has been filtered through a nice vanilla, caramel, and even a wee bit orangey filter to give it that wee bit of extra sweetness. So when I say there's a smoke there, don't for a moment think that it's like a Scotch smoke, because it's not. It's there, it's subtle. It is, while being subtle, very detectable, but it is a hell of a lot more sweet. So don't mistake it for something else. It's not reminiscent of a Scotch in any way. So to say, the proof of the pudding's in the eating, the proof of the bourbon is in the tasting. So let's see if the angels are dancing with delight because they've missed out on this, or are they a wee bit miffed that the Devil's Cut is pretty good. Let's go and see. Sláinte. It's very sweet right from the off. There's a nice wee touch of flavourful heat, and that flavour is from the vanilla, a touch of caramel. There's a wee bit of a dark orange spice in there as well, and then it becomes a rich oak and some caramelized brown sugar in there as well. You know, for a very bottom shelf pour, it is quite an impressive first taste. Quite a lot going on there, lots of flavours, really, really impressive. So I'll go in again and see how we go. Now this is the first time I'm getting this, and I've had a bottle of this quite a lot over the last few years, and I've got used to it quite a lot, but this is the first time I've got sort of like a latte-esque kind of feeling in the mouth. It's nice and creamy, a wee bit milky coffee with a bit of brown sugar in there, and it's really nice on the palate. It's got a creamy mouthfeel, and the richness of the char in there is really coming through very nice. It's for the first time I got this. I've got a mate, and hopefully he's going to be watching this. Big into his American whiskies and stuff, and it was him who introduced me to this and said, mate, you got to get a bottle of this. And I went back to him and I said, God, I don't really like this. It's not very good. But this is a lesson in perseverance. You got to keep with things. Just because you don't like something at the start, you got to keep going back and trying it, because your palate develops, it evolves. The more you try, the more whiskey you experience. Just because you don't like something one time doesn't mean to say a few months down the line, or even a few weeks down the line when the bottle opens up a bit, that you're not going to come back to it and have a different impression. And this bottle is testament to that. It's a bottle I pick up quite regularly, but I'll always pick it up on offer. But we'll go in here again before I give it a score and tell you my final thoughts. It's very smooth on the palate. It retains that rich oaky char, the brown sugar elements, a bit of caramel, the nice vanilla, and that wee element of spicy heat is in there as well. And it's very smooth in the palate, it's very creamy. The finish is medium to long. And I have to say, what you get here for your money, like bang for buck as they talk about, this is pretty damn good. You know, it's not going to blow your mind. It's not a Wild Turkey 101 by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a nice introduction to bourbon whiskey, and I do highly recommend it. So in terms of a score, what am I going to give it? Now, it's not outstanding. It's a good, solid whiskey, a good solid bourbon. So in terms of a score, I would say 84 out of 100, which is pretty good for a bottom shelf bourbon. So if you see it in your travels, pick it up, give it a try, let me know your thoughts. If you've had it before, let me know what you think of it. And as always, I appreciate your support, guys. It really means a lot to me. Until next time, stay safe, look after yourselves, and remember to always drink your whiskey the way you like it. Sláinte.